First, we at Wager Talk would like to thank everyone as a record number of you took advantage of our Thanksgiving 7-day special. We hope you enjoyed the convenience of getting your favorite handicappers plays daily during the hectic holiday weekend, and we also know that December can be a crazy month. Now we are offering a rest of calendar year special. Get every NFL, college bowl game, NBA, NHL, college basketball games, and all other sports of your favorite handicapper through December 31st for only $249. The early bird really does catch a worm for this special as it starts the day you sign up. No coupon needed. Pay only $249 today or pay $249 in a few days. The choice is simple. Let's have a great ending to 2021.
All right, guys, welcome in and happy Friday to you here, December the 3rd, 2021. And while it is, of course, championship weekend here beginning tonight in college football, we do not want to forget some of these intriguing matchups on the hardwood tonight, college basketball, and we've got you covered here, powered by WagerTalk.com. We got 3 games, in fact, on the board we're going to talk about, and we're going to do it with 3 of the finest gentlemen, scholars, you name it, every other adjective in the world except for Tony Finn. But Tony Finn is here today, finally making his, I believe, his college basketball debut. Welcome in, T. And, of course, his brother from a different mother, another Tony Mejia, and Steve Merrill, straight from the field hockey squad there, joins us here, right from the field hockey fields to join us on this Friday, guys. Merrill, good to see you, my man. I know continuing to rock and roll in the hardwood, whether it be NBA or college basketball, the profits continue to roll in. What do you got tonight here heading into the weekend?
Yeah, no, I wish it was still the field hockey season. It's now basketball season. Had our first game Wednesday, 28-5 final. 28-5 final. I'll let you guess which side we were on. It's probably not the preferred side. Luckily, my record, though, for the season is almost 28-5. I started, 25-7 last year in college hoops. So we're off to a great start this year, hitting over 70% in college hoops. Combined 33-16 college and pro basketball. And I mentioned that because I do have an NBA best bet. We're going to cover some college hoops tonight here on the show with a free play at the end. But my top play is in the NBA tonight. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. And I forgot, Steve, 49 is still active, and now's the time to use it because I've got 2 5% best bets this Sunday in the NFL for the first time ever. Sign up tonight. You get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for just $49, including both of those 5% best bets, but you must have promo code STEVE49 for 3 days for $49, Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, listen, man, that is, it's a great opportunity, guys. Get the entire weekend right through the 31st, end of the month, just $249 as well here. It's that end of the year special for Wager Talk. Great opportunity to take advantage here. And Tony Mejia, my friend, welcome back. How did you do it? I don't know if you had a huge card last night, but what do you got locked and loaded for us tonight?
We've got a 5% play in the college football game, one of the championship games, and went 7-1 on 5% plays in November. We're on a 12-2 run overall, and I'm number 1 since October 2020 is when I joined you fine fellas and ladies at Wager Talk, and I'm number 1 in 5% plays since then, 5% totals as well. So we've got another max play tonight, and what Steve said regarding taking advantage of this December special. That certainly is trumpeted by me as well. What else to tell you? I slept through the biggest blowout in NBA history, and I chuckled to myself. Somehow, I put a 4% play on Memphis in the first half, but just downgraded it to 2%. I think because I didn't want to have more than 6% on one game, but downgraded it to 2% for full game. I think I was safe there, winning by 70+.
Yeah, that would have maybe the biggest rocking chair victory that we have ever seen yet this year. And we're finishing up the year. But don't worry, many more opportunities galore here. Tony Finn, he too been killing it, not only in the NBA, college hoops continuing to profit for you as well. T, what do you got going on tonight here heading into the weekend?
Well, tonight I have not posted. I'm waiting on some intel. But I'm going to have, right now I have 2 college basketball and 2 NBA on the line after the show. Before the NBA show today, we'll have those live and available.
All right. Well, there we go, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you visit all three of these gentlemen, Steve Merrill, Tony Mejia, Tony Finn. Take advantage of that opportunity. End of year deal, guys. $249 all access right through the end of the month. All right. Let's start here with what is going to be, I don't know. Every time I see this team, I keep shaking my head saying, why are we not betting them to win it all here? And that would be Purdue, the Boilermakers, opening up as an 11.5-point favorite against Iowa, 159 as an opening total. And I would imagine that number continues to rise just a hair, and with good reason. I mean, talk about a well-rounded Purdue team here, not really afraid of anything, been running over everyone, and some quality competition. I mean, Florida State, although they were missing a few people, they were boat racing, and we talked about that earlier this week, Steve Merrill. And Villanova is on that list. I mean, Purdue hasn't ducked anybody, and they continue to be just that much better than everyone else. How do you think they line up against this Iowa team?
Yeah, Joe, it's funny because, as you know, this is the last week, and I'll probably do my college football top 25 video. I was debating on doing it, but I think I'll just do the championship games. Going to knock that out later today. But I don't pay a lot of attention to the rankings other than doing it for these videos. But we will have a college basketball one starting soon. And I was shocked when I looked up to see what network this was on, is why I looked it up. It's not on ESPN. It's on Big Ten Network. Nothing major tonight. So you're going to have to dig deep to find it. But what shocked me also is Iowa is not even a top 25 team. Is that correct? Am I misreading something there? I mean, I don't get that, because I think yes, you're right. Purdue is very good. But I mean, in some of my power rankings, Iowa's definitely top 20, maybe even higher. I had a best bet on them a few games ago for my clients at WagerTalk.com. I like this Iowa team. I think they continue to roll. They're coming off a perfect 7-0 start. They're 5-2 against the spread. Purdue 7-0, 6-1 against the spread. So these are both play-on teams for me. We mentioned that on the show here Tuesday. Both Ralph Michaels and myself, I think Dave Koken was on them as well. We all like Purdue here on the show when we talked about that Purdue-Florida State matchup on Tuesday night. But instead of looking at the side here, I'll let the Tonys battle that one. I'm going to look at the total. And you mentioned it's a big one, but for good reason. If you look at offensive efficiency, out of 358 teams, they're ranked 1 and 3. Purdue's 1, Iowa is 3 in offensive efficiency this year. These are as good as any offensive teams in the country. Defensively, though, in the 30s and the 90s. So there's a huge offensive edge for both teams here. We talk about it in college football when there's big totals. We talk about it in the NBA. Last year, all those big totals normally go over. Same thing here in college basketball. This line is high for a reason, and it's not high enough. I like over 159. I think it gets into the 160s at least.
Yeah, I mean, two teams averaging around 92, 94 points per game here. And, of course, that means it'll be a 65-50 game. Tony Mejia, let me yeah, exactly. Let me ask you here. Iowa coming off of that big last-second win against Virginia. Talk about style differences. Going to be a little different here, taking on Purdue. What do you think we're going to see from this Iowa squad?
Well, I mean, to answer what Steve was wondering about why Iowa's being disrespected, I think it's just their schedule and the fact that they did lose Luka Garza and Jordan Bohannon, both currently trying to make NBA rosters. And, you know, the fact that those guys are gone and we really haven't seen much from this team. Their highest ranked team, I believe, opponent was Western Michigan, which is a terrible team in the MAC this year. They hung 109 on them. They do have the nation's leading scorer in Keegan Murray right now. He's kind of fit the bill in terms of replacing Garza's production and Bohannon. But it's a different type Iowa team, and yet they're still ranking first in the nation in scoring, which is much less impressive than Purdue ranking number 2 because of who Purdue has played. And so I think Iowa will be the team that's rushing here, and Purdue wants to set you up in the back in the half court and dish it inside to Edey, who's 7'4", or Williams, who's one of the better post players in the country. And they're very efficient offensively. Leonard Hamilton just called them a Final Four team and one of the best, most complete teams he's seen over the last few years. I had a 5% play on Purdue the other night against Florida State, laying roughly a dozen points like they are tonight. And I think Purdue's much deeper than Iowa. This is Iowa's first true road game, so that's tough in its own right. And from a total standpoint, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes under, because that's one thing that I was really curious about is how high are these odds makers going to put this total, considering you're both averaging over 90 points per game. I thought it might be 165. 160 to me is a tell, and it's down to 159. And the lowest scoring game that Purdue played all of last season was a loss to Iowa. So from that standpoint, I think Iowa knows that if it gets into a track meet with Purdue, Purdue's going to get to the free throw line. Jaden Ivey, who is drawing Russell Westbrook comparisons for his athleticism and the fact that he can lock you up, he'll be an interesting foil for Murray. I like Purdue big, and I'm leaning towards the under here.
Leaning towards the under, liking them big. And just to clarify, Bohannon is still on Iowa, is he not? Or is that the wrong Bohannon? Isn't Jordan still on Iowa? I don't think he went.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of the other kid who left this past year.
I know, the scorer that was there forever. Yes, but Bohannon is there along with Murray.
I'm thinking of the shooter whose name escapes me right now.
Yeah, he was the Division I leader, I believe, wasn't he? Wasn't he set like one of the all-time leaders? Certainly, Purdue shot lights out there. He was also there for 9 years. Yeah, Wieskamp was there forever. Also, Murray, and that was a big question mark, too, because he got hurt in that Virginia game. He's the leading scorer for Iowa. They do anticipate he's going here tonight. So keep an eye on that, though, guys, whether or not Murray is going or not going. And Tony Finn, what do you think here? Iowa a little underrated, maybe, in your opinion?
Iowa? No, I don't. I would probably kind of be between these two guys. I don't have an opinion too much on the total. I think the only reason this total wouldn't go over is because I don't trust Iowa. Not that I don't trust. I mean, I trust them to dribble the basketball, pass the basketball. They still have a lot to prove to me. Their schedule, outside of the Virginia game, they haven't played anybody inside if you trust KenPom, they haven't played anybody inside the 200 rankings in KenPom. In fact, I think the average was in the 320s of who they played outside of Virginia. And to be truthful, Virginia, that was a game I thought they'd given away. I watched some of that game, and they gave away a big lead, almost a 20-point lead. Came down late in the game. A kid misses the 1-on-1 for Virginia. They end up getting a 1-point win in that game. As far as Purdue goes, I've only bet against Purdue once. I haven't bet on them yet, and I played against them with Nova. And to be completely honest with that game, I almost quit watching that game because I thought Villanova really handled this team, and they did for the first half, going into the second half. But then Purdue turned it on. I missed some of it, but watched some of the tape, and they're as good as their advertisers. They're as good as advertisers, no doubt about it. Iowa's the question here. I think the line's about right. I trust Purdue. I don't have a side, don't have a total on this game, Joe. But if I was in this room, it would be on Purdue. And I would be one of those guys. I think the total's about correct too. There's some other games I like better.
All right. Looking at it, both should be an entertaining game, guys, to say the least here tonight. Iowa taking on Purdue. Let's take a look at a couple other blue bloods here as well. Kansas getting ready to take on St. John's. Kansas opens up as a 7-point favorite here. 157 as an opening total here, and that probably shouldn't shock anybody here. But what do you think here, Tony Mejia? St. John's taking on Kansas. Are you worried that this isn't the same old Kansas team?
No, I think Kansas is going to be fine. I remember I was on the air in one of these shows when they were playing Dayton in that tournament in Orlando, and I had Kansas laying 8.5 or 9 for the first half because they were a 16-point favorite, and they got there. They barely got there, but they were leading at 10 at the break, and then just really didn't show up for the second half. Dayton caught them and ultimately hit a really lucky buzzer beater to hand them that first loss. But I think Kansas is fine. One of the deeper backcourts in the country. You're talking about Arizona's state transfer, Remy Martin, Agbaji from last year, who was their leading scorer. He had led them in every game this season in scoring until the most recent one. And DeJuan Harris, Jalen Coleman Lance, who's been in college for about a decade, had numerous stops. Joseph Yusefu, who comes over from Drake. I mean, they're just loaded at the guard spot, which really bodes well for them here because St. John's is going to pressure you. That's it's Mike Anderson's 40 minutes of hell, and they're going to come at you in waves. But the one thing here with Kansas, coming into New York to play St. John's is that this is an arena that nobody's played at. They're playing, and I was looking up out of curiosity how many basketball games have been played at this. What is it called? The UBS Arena, which is where the Islanders play, replaced Nassau Coliseum as their NHL home. And I couldn't find many. And then it was funny. They asked Julian Champagny, "What atmosphere do you expect tonight?" They're like, "Well, New York has been talking about this game with Kansas coming to the city for months now, but I really don't know who's going to show up." And it's funny because sightlines wise, neither of these teams are going to be used to what this arena is going to be like, considering it's hockey specific. So that'll be interesting. I do think, though, pace wise, we're heading towards an over unless both teams shoot importantly.
Well, somebody's got to win a game in that building. Lord knows it's not going to be the Islanders. So go ahead, talk to me here, Tony Finn. What do you think with this game here? Usually you just kind of look to the total, but what are you looking at in this matchup?
I would be total here as well on this game, simply for some of the reasons that the other Tony just talked about. There's some question marks in this game that even I can't get answers for. Typically, I can get a lot of answers on this Kansas team having some connections there and growing up in that area and following that team. That let's go back, it's aged me since days of JoJo White and Bud Stallworth, which is that late 60s, early 70s. Here's the deal with St. John's. Both these teams are going to play at pace. If you think Kansas plays fast, St. John's plays even faster. And Kansas is one of those teams that Bill Self doesn't care too much. He was one of those guys who doesn't care about covering numbers. He'll get a lead in the second half. Tony talked about Dayton. Listen, Dayton is not a very good team. This is not a very good team. Before that Kansas game, they had lost to a couple, I think 250, 270 in Kim Palm numbers. And they surprised me in the second half of the game. I thought it was going to get away from Kansas, or get away from Dayton in the second half, and it didn't. And a lot of it had to do with the way Bill Self handles his rotations when he gets the lead. He's more interested in the non-conference. He's interested in improving his team, finding out about kids playing together, et cetera, like a lot of coaches do. And covering big numbers is it's an iffy proposition with Bill Self, and you got to be picky. And I've missed one as well this year. Tony talked about it. So that said, number 8 Kansas, St. John's. There's no doubt in this game who has the talent. It's Kansas. They're whole now. Finally, they brought a kid back in that might have driven under the influence. We're not sure because he haven't gone to court yet on that. But Kansas is famous for that as well. On their players, Bill's gives them a lot of room to hang themselves, and if they do, nowadays in the old days they didn't suffer so much, but now they suffer. This is going to be a game of fast breaks. It's going to be a game of transition. It's going to be games of shooting, and if the sidelines are a problem here, as Tony suggested, then there may be a problem getting over this total. If these teams are going to go to the rim, and Kansas will go to the rim in this game, they will. Bill Self's teams work inside out. They always have. He's a little bit different. If you listen to him this year, it's a little bit different, this team. He wants his team to be even faster than they're playing. I think right now they're about the 45th, 50th fastest team in college basketball. I, too, like this going north of the total, unless both teams are cross-eyed and can't see the rim.
It's an intriguing matchup here, Steve Merrill. From the best players on both teams seem to be guards. We know the pace situation here, but the sight lines worry you, not to mention St. John's has played Indiana's the only real competition they played, and they lost to them. So I don't know what to make of St. John's. What about you?
Yeah, we talked about that Indiana team Tuesday when I was last on the show here, and I actually had not only on the show did I recommend Syracuse, but that was my top best bet Tuesday night at WagerTalk.com was Syracuse over Indiana. So I'm not a huge believer in Indiana. I think they're a little bit overrated. So that St. John's near miss there is a little less impressive to me. Getting back to what Tony Mejia said about this being the new Islanders arena, I don't know if there's been other basketball games, but I know for a fact it's the first ever college basketball game that's been played in this arena. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. Neither team, though, Joe, relies heavily on the three-point shot. So I'm not as worried about sight lines here as you would be for most college basketball teams that, take 40% of their shots from beyond the arc. That does concern you with the total. The only way I would play the total is the over, obviously, just like the first game we talked about. These are two high-tempo, fast-paced teams. But the new arena gets me off the total. I think there's a lot of uncertainty there. Assuming neither team shoots well at the sight lines, they both like to play fast. It's a pretty easy handicap for me. Kansas does it better. So when you have two similar styles, Kansas wants to play fast. St. John's is not going to slow them down. And Kansas takes care of the basketball. They're averaging only 10 turnovers a game this season. St. John's needs to force turnovers. They need to hit threes. I don't think either of those are going to happen in this game. So I like the favorite here, Kansas -7. And I think they will be focused here. The fact that this game is in New York, it's the Big 12, Big East tournament game. I think that's all the makings you want for the better team to win this one by double digits.
All right, liking KU to get it done here. We've got one more matchup we're going to break down for you, and it's in the Big Ten. Where else here? What a matchup this is going to be. How about Rutgers taking on Illinois? Illinois looking like 8 right now, 133.5 as a opening total. Rutgers seems to have righted the ship a little bit. That was a big win against Clemson there on Tuesday. And we kept waiting for Rutgers to be able to put it together, and they finally did there, Tony Finn. But now Illinois' got everyone back. I'm worried that Illinois is, going to be the public darling here. Do you trust Rutgers to at least cover this number?
No. Well, I don't trust them, and that's why I stayed away from this game all because of Rutgers. And the truth is, Illinois hasn't been great against the number. Not that they, too, are a team that goes out to look to cover numbers early in the non-conference schedule. Let's put it this way. They've covered the spread once this season, not twice. I said twice. I may be wrong. I'm looking at my numbers now, so you guys can correct me. But I guess that's right. They have covered it twice. I'm so sorry. I'm seeing double. But Rutgers, 1-6 against the spread this year. 5 out of the 7 Rutgers games have gone over the point total, and I don't trust this one to go over the point total. I can't put my arms around Rutgers. I know who Illinois is. I know if Illinois plays, or at least plays an average game or plays to their skill set, I think they handle Rutgers, a team that's averaging about 67.5 games, which ranks about 262nd in KenPom. The possessions per game, how fast they play, not very fast. They're about the 285th fast or slowest team in college basketball. They average about 40% from the field, 26% from three-point line. Effective field goal percentage is in the range of 45%, and their true shooting is under 50%. I cannot trust this Rutgers offense. I can trust Illinois to play hard and play defense. So I would lean here would definitely be on the Fighting Illini and under the total in this Big Ten game.
All right, looking at under, and Steve, when we get to these Big Ten, right, the start of the Big Ten here, you can pretty much throw some of those non-conference situations out because these two teams know each other, the schools know each other. It tends to be a little tighter contest, and yet the money continues to roll in on Illinois. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, if Illinois plays to their potential, they're the much better team. And one thing I don't like doing in college football that we've talked about this year is taking underdogs that you're hoping get the backdoor cover with terrible offenses, especially when they can't throw the ball, they just can't catch up. And kind of similar in college basketball, I don't like to back underdogs that I think are the inferior team that have a terrible offense. And that's definitely Rutgers. I mean, they shoot 40.5%. More so, they shoot 26% from three-point range, only 66.5% from the free throw line. So across the board, they don't shoot well. So I don't think this is like short-term random variance on the three-point line. They're just not a good shooting team. What they do well, though, what's keeping me off this game in general, is that they're a slow-down half-court team. And that's something that can always cause problems when you're getting almost double digits here. They're currently +9. If they can slow this game down and ugly it up like they normally do, that could keep it within the point spread range. That would favor the under 133. Illinois is a team that's superior talent-wise, but they have not shown it at times this year. We talked about them back here on this show, I believe, back in mid-November. I think I was on when they played Marquette. And we talked about them going in there to a Marquette team that we all kind of thought was a little bit overrated in Shaka Smart's first season. Illinois doesn't necessarily have a true point guard, but they had taken good care of the basketball. Well, not in that game. They had 26 turnovers in that game. They'd only had 13 and 19 the 2 games before that. They've since had 18 in one of their last games. So this is a team that's had trouble taking care of the basketball at times. So I do think the tenacious Rutgers defense could actually ugly this up enough for them to stay at +9. Not a game I'm going to be using tonight, but if I had to play it, Rutgers and the under are somewhat probably correlated in this one.
All right, Rutgers in the under if he was going that way. And now I know you backed Illinois over the last couple of weeks here, Tony Mejia. And what do you think here? Are they just clearly the better team? It's only one way you can look.
Yeah, I'm riding Illinois, but not as I'm not beating the drum for them like I did against Notre Dame, and that was the other night, part of this best bet stretch that we'll talk about later on this college basketball show. They were my best bet against the Irish, despite the fact that half the roster had the flu. And those guys, a lot of them ended up suiting up and playing, which was very fortunate. But Andre Curbelo doesn't have the flu. What he's got is some neck issue that is going to keep him out for the foreseeable future, including tonight. He's the point guard on this team, the guy who was expected to replace Ayo Dosunmu, and was really sloppy when he did play. I mean, he was the reason why they lost to Marquette. Blew a lead there, and his decision-making was terrible. Then they got beat by Cincinnati by 20, and he's been dealing with a neck issue, and he'll be back. He's really a talented kid, just got off to a slow start. And I think Brad Underwood said yesterday, that they're not going to give a timetable for him. When he's ready, and they expect him to be who he was last season and who he has the potential to be going forward once he's right. What the Illini were able to do with all these kids coming back the other night, you had Trent Frazier and Jacob Grandison suit up after being labeled game time decisions due to the flu. They brought those two off the bench, and they handled the ball in addition to DeMonte Williams and Alfonso Plummer, who started in the backcourt. Plummer is a transfer from Utah. Williams is one of those plug-and-play guys that really seems to make the right decisions. And they are all expected to get the ball inside to Kofi Cockburn, who has really come out and been dominant since serving that 3-game suspension to start the season. He's averaging something like 26 and 10. And he'll be the main cog inside for Illinois today. This is my free play at wt.buzz/TM, so go read my analysis there. But one of the reasons why I like the Illini to beat Rutgers and cover the spread is Rutgers, really their own worst enemy offensively. These two guys have mentioned that. They beat themselves up at the free throw line by missing gimmies. Ron Harper Jr., if he doesn't have it, that team really can struggle to score. So I don't want to chase a spread cover with a team that struggles to score. And then the other variable, Rutgers has not been good on the road. They were a road favorite, against DePaul and lost that game. And they were a road favorite against UMass and lost that game at the buzzer. So now they're a decisive road underdog in this Big Ten opener. And I just don't think they have the horses to get this win. These two teams played in the first round of the Big Ten tournament last March, and Illinois won decisively. And that was when Rutgers had two big centers to throw at Cockburn. One of them has gone off to UCLA to be a focal point there. So it's Omoruyi, and that's it for Rutgers here. If he gets into foul trouble, this could be a blowout. So I'm riding Illinois.
All right, no Geo Baker yet. But Ron Harper and Rutgers going to try to keep this one close here tonight. Should be one hell of a battle here, guys. The Big Ten opens up. Conference play is underway in college hoops. And also, before we go around the horn here and grab some best bets from the guys heading into the weekend, a quick reminder that the end-of-year special available right now, guys. Take advantage of it. $249 gives you an all-access pass to any one of these gentlemen that you'd like, or anybody at WagerTalk.com. $249 every play, every sport through December 31st, including championship weekend here, college football, obviously NFL, you name it. Great opportunity to hop on board. $249 right now. Go take advantage of it. Visit Steve Merrill, visit Tony Mejia, and visit Tony Finn at WagerTalk.com. All right, guys, do want to mention it has been quite the ride here on the show this week when it comes to our best bet section. I do believe we are riding now a 14-2 record here over the last 3 days. It has been a lot of fun, and for those of you that have hit us up on social media, congratulations. including one guy apparently is taking off next week now. Not sure what that means, but apparently he's taking off. So congratulations to him. And Steve Merrill, we'll keep the profit train rolling here, my man. Talk to us on the card here today. Where are you looking?
Yeah, I hit one on Tuesday, so I'm part of that 14-2 run. We'll try to keep it going. And look, this is actually the college game I do like the best tonight. It wasn't strong enough to be an official best bet, just a bit outside. I do have an NBA best bet tonight. The ESPN big national TV game between the Warriors and Suns is my top play. But we're going to look at the Kansas Jayhawks -7 as a free play in college hoops. Game number 847 at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Kansas -7. Just a quick reminder that you can get that NBA best bet tonight, plus both of my 5% NFL best bets this Sunday. First time ever I've had two 5% plays on the same day with a 3-day special. Steve 49 gets Friday, Saturday, Sunday for just $49. All sports. Steve 49, WagerTalk.com. Let's look at the Kansas Jayhawks -7. This is a game in UBS Arena where the Islanders now play. It's the first college basketball game ever. Obviously, that's going to be dicey as far as the sight lines and the shooting. Neither team relies that heavily on the three-point shot, so I think we'll get a lot of full-court basketball. Both teams like to play fast, and that's good news because Kansas does it a lot better. They're the better offensive team, the better defensive team, and the more talented team overall. The way you beat teams like that is either to slow it down or hit three-point shots. St. John's isn't going to do that in this game. They're going to play fast. They don't rely on the three. They do force turnovers, but Kansas takes good care of the basketball this year, averaging just 10 turnovers per game. So everything checks the boxes here for Kansas to win this one by double digits. Kansas Jayhawks -7 because it's 7 p.m. Eastern on Friday night.
All right, boom, book it. Kansas Jayhawks and Tony Mejia. You too, part of that 14-2 run here. Let's keep it going. What are you looking at here tonight?
I am looking at Boise State against Tulsa going over a total of 130. We just saw Tulsa against Oral Roberts in a game me and you were interested in. And, the Golden Hurricane not defending the way that Frank Haith would like them to, because ultimately this total would be about right if you'd get your normal Tulsa slow down tactics. Let's play half court and let's get there and grind and defend. Teams are shooting 46% against Tulsa, which I'm sure has Frank Haith going sleepless at night. Boise State, and another reason why this total is a little low, has played UC Irvine, St. Bonaventure, Ole Miss, Cal State Bakersfield, some of the slower-paced teams in the country there. They come off an 86-82 overtime loss to St. Louis, where they made just 12 of 26 from the free throw line. So they were their own worst enemy there. I read that Leon Rice had them doing some things to try to rectify that situation. And breaking news last night, Devonair Dutrieve, one of the better names in college basketball, no longer with the Broncos, got kicked off the team. He was benched after shooting 7 for 30 from three-point range to start the season, 7 of 16 from the free throw line. So he was a culprit in those issues, and I guess he didn't like getting benched because the reports were that he looked disinterested there. Rice said, we'll talk about it after the game, and now he's no longer on the roster. So when guys get playing time, they're going to start a freshman that started the past game against the Billikens. He's going to continue in the role. Other guys are going to pine for minutes, and there'll probably be more sharing of the basketball. So that's all good news for over here. And the one good thing about Tulsa, even though they're not defending, they did get back Jariah Horn, who was at Tulsa, transferred to Colorado, now came back after COVID, and he's shooting 47% from three as their go-to guy. So I think we'll see offense here. I think the total opened at 129, and the Sharps have bet it up to the 130, 131 range. So feeling good about that as well. Best bet, over Tulsa and Boise State.
All right. Tulsa, Boise State, over the total here. And Tony Finn, here we go, man. You get to drop in. Become part of this record here. So talk to us here tonight. Which game you circling for us?
I'm going to go to Houston. We're going to.
Woo!
Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
Not Corpus Christi. We're going to go to Houston. Bryant's 3-4. Number 15th ranked Houston, 6-1 on the season. It's a nice game. It really is. You're going to have two teams who depend really heavily on points from a small portion of the rosters. Two guards on display, good ones. Peter Kiss and Bryant face Marcus Sasser in this Houston Cougars team. Kiss scores 20% of the team's points. And on the other side, Houston, they rely on their seniors, Kyler Edwards, Fabian White, and Taze Moore. They collectively score almost 40% of Houston's points. Houston, this team is not concerned with winning by margin. They're one of the slower paced teams, and they're ranked in the high 200s as far as pace goes, if you trust KenPom. And when you have a total of 139, 140 in that range, and a spread of 23, then nobody's really been interested in this game. I've checked on a few. No interest in taking Houston over a Bryant team that's really relying on Kiss. But Kiss creates his own shot, can create his own shots, whereas Houston really passes the ball well, get the open jumper, or to go to the rim. And they've done a good job so far this year. It's a team that is probably going to be one of those teams, at least for the first part of conference play, are going to get a lot of press because of the way they play and the conference they play in. I like Bryant tonight, plus 23 points. Book it.
So, Robert, I'm wondering if Robert's listening going, did he compliment the Cougs or did he basically say they suck and not going to cover?
No.
I don't know. Figure it out, but I'm sure you'll hear it on the NBA tip-off show coming up as well, Tony Finn. But he's going Bryant. Take the points, the 3 touchdowns with Bryant against the Houston Cougars. All right, tonight I'm going to go to the ACC, and I'm going to continue to fade the Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, who have covered 1 of their 6 games, going to BC, taking on a Boston College team who is playing great defense. They are red hot from behind the arc there, guys, in three-point range around 38%. And meanwhile, Notre Dame, I believe the number is 356. That's where they rank in defending the three. They got depth issues. And a 5-0 record at home for BC leads me to believe, you want to give me 5.5 points? I'll take the 5.5 points, and I'll take Boston College here tonight against Notre Dame. All right, there you got it. Now to recap it all, plus our Gold Sheet play of the day, who has also continued to roll in with the W's. They're looking at San Jose State and the under here tonight. Interesting. San Jose State and the under tonight in their game. And of course, guys, this full write-up can be found on the Twitter page of Wager Talk, at Wager Talk. Head over there. This is a great read. And of course, the Gold Sheet. What a great handicapping tool to have. Great information, great stats, great write-ups. Check them out at goldsheet.com. All right, so when you put it all together here on a Friday as we head in, taking this 14-2 run on to the weekend, Mejia going Tulsa, Boise State over the 131. Merrill says lay it with the better team. Kansas taking on St. John's late as 7. Tony Finn just made fun of Houston. I'm certain of it, but he's going to take Bryant plus 23 in that matchup. BC for me in the 5.5 against Notre Dame, and the Gold Sheet. San Jose State lay it and the under 137.5. And again, guys, keep in mind, you head over to WagerTalk.com right now. Steve Merrill, Tony Mejia, Tony Finn, 249 guys, all access pass. No better time of year than right now. Championship weekend, college hoops, NBA, so much going on. 249 gives you an all access pass. All sports, all plays from any one of these gentlemen right now at WagerTalk.com. Just 249, and that includes their 5% best bets this weekend, guys, and every weekend moving forward through the end of the year. So go ahead, grab that right now, 249. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Make plans to come back and join us again on Monday as we return for another edition of College Basketball, the Tip-Off Show. In the meantime, we got college football coming up and the NBA Tip-Off Show coming your way over the next couple hours here on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe here at Wager Talk. On behalf of Steve Merrill and the Tony brothers, Mejia and Finn, guys, we appreciate the time. Best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again on Monday.
First, we at Wager Talk would like to thank everyone as a record number of you took advantage of our Thanksgiving 7-day special. We hope you enjoyed the convenience of getting your favorite handicappers plays daily during the hectic holiday weekend, and we also know that December can be a crazy month. Now we are offering a rest of calendar year special. Get every NFL, college bowl game, NBA, NHL, college basketball games, and all other sports of your favorite handicapper through December 31st for only $249. The early bird really does catch a worm for this special as it starts the day you sign up. No coupon needed. Pay only $249 today or pay $249 in a few days. The choice is simple. Let's have a great ending to 2021.